Welcome to the Team Engagement Podcast, where leaders of teams share their insights. We discuss 6 questions in about 9 minutes because leaders know how to be concise. Well, let's jump right into it. First question, in a few sentences, tell us who you are and what you do.
Thank you very much, Sean. My name is Brian Freed. I'm an inventor, entrepreneur. I'm an author, radio show host, and I represent my own inventions and other inventors' products at all different stages of the invention process.
Fantastic. Looking forward to talking with you because you've got some interesting insights about teams. So let's start with the second question then. What's the best thing about working with a team?
I have to say that, look, you can do things on your own and you can figure things out. But like for me, what people do is they connect with me as like their coach and their mentor to kind of help them through and navigate, helping them to make better decisions. So when you have more people to be able to speak to that share the same interest in making you successful or being successful or working together to be successful, that's the key ingredients, is that you have the right people around you to be able to build that team and grow together. And as long as everybody's incentivized and has peace of mind and is able to work together and respect each other, you build a great team and anything is possible.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, I find that from my perspective, a lot of it has to do with kind of wanting to build on people's strengths and what they're already naturally good at. And I liked what you said about how there are sometimes when you've got to get the right team. And if you don't have that right team, it doesn't always gel like you want it to, because you're trying to do it all yourself. And yes, you can do it, but it's so much easier if you bring that team around. I love that. What thoughts do you have on trying to assemble a team? Because you've done a lot of that with your work.
You know what it is? You want to be resourceful and you want people around you that are experts in what they do. So you can go to, well, it's like you want to be able to first you need to understand what it is that you're getting yourself into, no matter what business opportunity or wherever you are in whether it's your idea or your business, you want to figure out where you are and then find out what you might need. Or ask people. Like what I've been involved with lately is where people come to me, they're already successful. Well, once you start a business and you open your doors, or if you have an invention and you sold one to somebody, to me, that's successful. So being able to find people that can look at things from a different perspective to maybe know what it is that you're missing or that you might need to continue to build a team, I think is really important. Because if you're continuing to keep doing the same thing over and over again, I'm going like this and I'm looking behind me, I see my gears. It's just like that regular, just keep going, and not take a step back and look to see what the opportunity is or what it is that you're missing. Like you'll just keep doing the same thing. And you don't realize till you speak to somebody that there might be an open door or a better solution. If you just look a little bit to the right or to the left, is that open door instead of going straight and hitting a brick wall. So there's a lot of perspective on things like that. And again, you make decisions based on business and putting your business cap on and not emotional, because sometimes people get really caught up on that. You're not obligated to work with anybody you don't want to, but sometimes you feel like you've spoken to somebody or you get deep into it with them and then you're committed to it and you really don't have to. So you want to find people that are going to help you to make decisions, to think about where it is that you are in your business and to be able to help you and to grow. And again, that has some incentive. Like when you give people incentive to work and to find, there's money, but there's also the success. And to me, like when I come up with a product, Sean, it's like I come up with it because I want you to use it. And I want whoever's going to buy it in the retail store to use it for the same reason that I came up with it. So it's like, that's the feeling that I get. Yes, the money comes along with it down the road, but everybody has different reasons and compelling reasons to earn and to be successful.
Great insights. Thank you. Let's go on to the third question. I hear from other team members that it can be a challenge to get team members engaged. Tell me your thoughts on that.
Well, why wouldn't they be engaged? First off, you vetted them, you took the emotion out of it, and you made a business decision to hire them for their talents and for their resources and for their background and knowledge, and they were committed to helping you. So why wouldn't you continue with them? What is it that's holding them back from helping you to be successful or to advance where you want to go or to contribute to what it is that they're part of your team for? Well, number one, it's respect. Like, there's somebody that can call the final shot, but until you get there, so let's say you're the boss, you're the leader, you're the one that ultimately makes the decision. But if you treat everybody the way that you want to be treated, or that sometimes people don't want to be treated, whatever, but I'm just saying, like, if you give people good energy and you are together with them and you give them the incentive and you pay that, like sometimes when I ask somebody how much something's going to be for a quote for a job that I need done, and they tell me, I can beat them up a little bit on the price, but at the same time, I don't want to take away from them making a living. Everybody's entitled to get what they want. But if that person decides to do the job, they better give me that 100% effort because they committed to it. And that's what I look for. And I'm the type of guy that when I'm managing a team, that somebody ends up kind of going a different direction, they just have to move on. It's just like a relationship. You end up comfortable just because you're in that environment. But again, you don't realize what you have or what you can change until you step back and think about it and look at it from a different perspective. So I think the respect, paying people what they agreed to do it, they should move forward, giving them that incentive and treating them the way that they should be treated.
Great insights. And the word that was coming to mind when you were talking was trust. If I'm going to pay you the full amount, I'm trusting that you will provide the work that I'm expecting you to do. And that, whether that's a vendor and professional relationship or whether it's within the structure of a team, you're depending on the people to do exactly what everyone has agreed to do. And that trust level has to be so high or you've lost something. And that's when the engagement starts to erode both on a team level and on an employee level. So yeah. I love what you have to say. Thank you.
Sean, you know what else is really, really important with anything? I think it's actually for anything in life, expectations. When people understand what it is that they need to do and what they're going to get in return, you have peace of mind. And it's for business too. When you're going somewhere or you schedule an appointment or you're working for somebody, whatever it is, expectations are really important. What is it that you want to get out of this meeting? What is it that you want to get out of this job? You want to build, you want to do, you want to help, you want to see things exist. What do you want as a leader? And the expectations, I think, when people put that on the table, because sometimes people run away from it or they just don't think about it. But yes, the level of trust is very important, but the trust comes with understanding what it is that people want to achieve. And that comes from expectations, I believe.
I agree completely. There's this, I don't want to say it's a theory. To me, it's very commonplace, but you have the expectation here. If the experience that the person has is down here, that gap that you have, that's what causes the conflict. And that's where the trouble is. When the expectations are here, if you're not meeting those expectations or hopefully exceeding them, then you've created conflict. And that's nobody likes conflict.
You're exactly right. So if you're here and I'm here, then we're disconnected. It's very simple. Yeah. So you find the common ground that you're connected and you can move forward.
Fantastic. Thank you. Question number 4. What other successful team leaders, such as yourself, should be on my podcast?
I think that anybody who's created a successful business or an invention where they brought their product to life and somebody's buying it or other people are buying it or it's available for sale, I think you should have any of those people on because not one story is going to be the same. and the journey of where they started to where they ended up, well, there's not really an end because it always continues. But I think that journey of how they got there is really interesting. And when I listen to people's stories and journeys, whether they're successful business people or businesses that might have failed, or inventors that come up with something and maybe they're at that fork in the road or they hit a brick wall, like just listening to people where they've started and where they're going and where they are and how they want to continue if they didn't continue yet is really interesting to me. So I think, Sean, you should keep doing what you're doing and getting these entrepreneurs and startup businesses on here, because whether you're somebody who's been in business forever or just starting off, I think there's lessons in people's perspectives and life challenges and successes.
Well, great. Thank you. I appreciate the encouragement because I really enjoy doing it and want to keep doing it. So question number 5, what other piece of advice would you give to leaders of teams?
I think we kind of covered that, where it's really about expectations and working together and incentives and just being on the same page and having the same goals. I think it's really, really important. And look, people have their own lives too. So I think that a balance between having work and putting all that into it and being able to enjoy yourself too, which I think I'm 46 now. I think I'm still, it takes a lot to kind of calm down because I'm always thinking. And I think it's because I have a lot of people that are calling me up, asking me to help think with them. Mm-hmm. So my mind doesn't stop, but I think that that kind of balance also is very important for people to work together, because they need a break from each other too.
Well, yeah, and I think in the current situation with COVID-19, I think there's a lot of people realizing that they still need some different interactions going on there and confined quarters with each other. So
true.
Final question: tell us about your first job.
Well, I was 11 years old, and there were things that I wanted probably at like 10 and 9 and 8, and I had to keep asking my parents and my grandparents for what I wanted, and I didn't like that. And they had their own things that they were responsible for, including raising families and their lives and what they wanted. So at 11 years old, I started delivering 150 newspapers, where I had the basket in front of my bike, and used to tip over all the time because I was probably 100 pounds myself. and when it was cold or windy or rainy, I'd be in the back of my parents' station wagon, flinging the papers or delivering them out to their doors. And then started to build up a little bit of a nest egg there for myself. And then I bought a snow blower. So I started doing that on those seasons. And then I bought a leaf shredder, it sucked up the leaves, shredded them and put them in the bag. So I did that. So I was a neighborhood season, any season I was there for you, but I also delivered your paper. And there was, some innovation. I thought, when just looking back now, when I was delivering the papers, I actually went to my district manager for the Daily News and for Newsday, and I said, listen, I'm sitting here cold, knocking at the door, getting invited in for a hot cup of coffee, hot chocolate, or just waiting in the doors, and it was taking a long time to collect. So I came up with these envelopes, and they started to talk about these envelopes that you put under the doormat. And I would pick them up at a certain date and time, and then I'd write how much they owed on the envelope, and if they leave the tip in there, and I was done. But then there was some that still wanted to have me come in, and it was their weekly thing to have the paperboy. But it was fun, and I got to build up and be able to be somewhat independent in my teens. My young teens.
Wow, what great innovation you had. That's impressive for such a young person.
Thank you. What about you? What was your first job?
I was smiling so much because I'm also a paper boy graduate, I guess you'd say. And so I can very much relate to that. And, I had an afternoon route, so it was an after school type opportunity. And I learned a lot about you got those papers out. It didn't matter whether it was raining or snowing or windy or cold or hot. You went out and you delivered the papers. And for me, it was a lot of customer interaction. One of my favorite things was exactly what you were describing, going and collecting. And I did it on a monthly basis, but I really learned that's where my love of people really got started, I think, was going into their homes, talking to them, and just, here I am, this 11, 12-year-old kid, but they were still, oh, how are you? And they're just light, fun. But
So did
what
I
great
start?
lessons.
Did I
Yeah.
start not to love them anymore by making them put the money into an envelope? Did I turn? Was that my turning point?
that changed for you. But yeah, what great stories. I love to hear how people learned from their first jobs and the lessons that they learned both for business, but also just life lessons. So thank you so much
For
for
sure.
sharing that. Well,
Thank
Brian,
you.
thanks for being on the podcast. How can people find you?
My website's easy. It's brianfreed.com. And I always have to say this joke because it still happens, and people tell me they don't get on my website because they spell my first name Brain. How appropriate for an inventor, but Brain. And then my last name is Fried, pronounced Freed, but spelled fried. So if you spell it brain and fried, then I'm brain fried. So it's BRIANFRIED.com. That's my personal website, and my business website is inventorsmart.com, which Inventor Smart.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sean. Thanks for the opportunity, and keep on inventing.
All right. Thank you. This is Sean Richards with the Team Engagement Podcast, where leaders of teams share their insights. For more ideas, you can search us up on LinkedIn by searching Blue Sky Business Consulting. Thanks so much. Have a great day.